Thank you, everyone, for staying with us. Let's get back to the conversation. A lot of people have said, look, do not go into 2019 election without restructuring this country. That is a narrative from some side of the country. Well, some people have believed that there is a lot of imbalance, injustice in the country. So any government that must take over power from 2015 must restructure. Well, the government of the day say they have come up with recommendations to restructure, well, they call it true federalism. Well, how far will those recommendations go in the scheme of things? Senator Olubunmi Adetumbi, he is the secretary of the APC True Federalism Committee. They've made those recommendations public. And also we have the Secretary General of the Ijaw Youth Council, Mr. Alfred Kemapado, in our Abuja studio. Let me quickly come back to Lagos before I come to you, Mr. Kemapado. Let's go into some of the areas, very, very important areas in these recommendations. First and foremost, the measure of states seems to be one that a lot of people have talked about. Measure of state. Is that reasonable, considering the fact that some states, some regions even want more states? Now, the APC's recommendation is suggesting a merger of states.
I think there's a misconception here. The APC committee and the party is not recommending merger of states, but is recognizing a lacuna in our constitution and our statute books, that there is currently no provisions, constitutionally or legal or even administrative, that allow states that may be willing in the future to consider the possibility of mergers, either for economic reasons or for whatever reasons. The party and the committee, in its wisdom, felt that there is need to provide for a constitutional platform and a legal framework that allows such states to do so if and when they decide to do so. It's completely different from APC saying that states should merge. We did not say that. We only felt that just as there is a provision for creation of states, there should be...
Is there a provision for creation of states in this?
There's a provision for creation of states in the Constitution of the Federal Republic as currently stands.
Does the recommendation also recognize the yearnings and the aspiration of some regions asking for more states?
Yes, it does, because there's a provision in the Constitution that allows such regions, such states, to follow the process.
That process is Herculean, you know.
Well, it's Herculean because it cannot just be something that people wake up on one side of their bed and they have a state tomorrow. There has to be a basis to ensure that such states are viable and they can sustain themselves over time. And we don't have a proliferation of bureaucracies across the country that doesn't deliver development to the people. The Constitution, in its wisdom, had made provisions for that, but we feel that the absence of the flip side of the coin, when 2 states or 3 states or 4 states decide to merge, there should be a legal platform to do so. That is what we have done.
The issue of devolution of power became a very naughty one in the National Assembly when they're considering the amendment to the Constitution. That in your recommendation is also recognized. But the question is that you have planned in your committee and the party that this is going to go through the National Assembly. If it didn't so true in the National Assembly, what are the hopes of this?
Look, the business of state development is always work in progress. It's like you are trying to hit a moving target. You keep aiming at that target with the hope of hitting it. Okay? There is a constitutional amendment process that is ongoing. Obviously, this is a new demand. And the parliament belongs to the people. They were elected by the people. The parliament of its own has no powers outside the mandate they get from the people.
But the politics of this is also very important. Has a party thought about this? In the first place, is the president on the same page with your party on this?
I can assure you, with every emphasis at my command, that Mr. President is aware of the existence of our committee. He is being briefed of the activities of the committee, and is aware of what we're doing.
Does he have the political will to make this happen? That's the concern of a lot of Nigerians.
Well,
that this is not just another talk shop.
Perhaps, if Nigerians can be patient to look at and monitor the process of evolution between what is before the public and what government does with it, what the party does with it, what the executive arm of government does with it, and what the parliament does with it, then there will be a basis